Newly added content, improvements to mechanics and minigames, an enhanced dungeon, and giant frogs? Finally, a release time frame. Welcome to an Everafter Falls update video. If this is your first time hearing about Everafter Falls, this is a Kickstarter that was launched in 2020. The developer goes by the username SquareHusky, who had been working on the game for the 3 years prior to it actually becoming an official Kickstarter. The Kickstarter ended near the end of 2020, and the game has been in production ever since. Unfortunately, some life circumstances have slowed down production, but Husky has been very forthcoming, and every time we do get an update, it is clear he's putting so much effort into making a really great finished product. In this video, we are going to be seeing some clips from the brand new trailer that just launched yesterday on October 1st, as well as highlighting some of the new updated content that is going to be in the game that was posted on Husky's Kickstarter page. So without keeping you waiting any longer, let's dive into this and get hyped for this brand new game that is going to be coming to us within the next year or so. So we have some outdoor shots here of the game, and what I've really noticed after watching this trailer quite a few times is that the color palette and the aesthetics have really been refined. You can tell that this game is really coming together in terms of what it wants to be for a game in the farming genre. It has a slightly brighter color palette than other games that I've played in this genre, and I really appreciate that because, you know, with Stardew Valley, I've spent probably 400 to 500 hours on just my most popular farm, let alone my other ones, and so you do spend a lot of time staring at your screen, and I do think that the more aesthetically pleasing a game is, the more it hooks me in and makes me want to play. Another thing about this trailer that is getting me so hyped is seeing the minigame. This isn't a YouTube video that SquareHusky posted. It's a little bit longer of a version, and it really goes into depth of what this minigame is like. It's almost like a Guitar Hero Dance Dance Revolution type of a minigame, and I mean, I could probably make a whole nother video on minigames in farming games because they're either really fun, really repetitive, or non-existent. And so just from the animations I see here, I have a feeling that the minigames are important to Husky and that he's going to make them really fun, because that's the whole best part of going to festivals. And speaking of minigames, I cannot wait for this fishing minigame. It looks so intriguing and so fun. I hope that it's hard, but not too hard. And I just cannot wait to try this minigame out. It looks really good. I'm not surprised that this trailer contains a lot of dungeon crawler updates, because I know that's one part of the game that he was really passionate about. He said in a previous Kickstarter update that he really wanted the dungeon experience to be one of a kind within the genre. And so as you can see, it looks like there's a lot of bosses, bad guys, and maybe even some villains with a little bit of a storyline that you're going to encounter in the dungeon. And I think that is going to be awesome, because I think that in the end game especially, that's one thing that I really enjoy doing, is spending time in the dungeons, because there's rare loot drops. You can go down usually forever or really deep and take up your whole day, and especially in the winter, it passes the time way more quickly. I can't touch on everything in this trailer, but overall I am really pleased with how the development of this game is coming. I can tell that there's going to be a lot of content, so that when we finally do get to play the game, it is going to be something that you can sink your teeth into and play for hours and hours, and that is really exciting to me. As this final cutscene wraps up the end of this next preview, I can honestly say that this is looking really good. I also am really excited because instead of the add to your wish list on Steam, at the ending of the trailer, it actually announces the year that the game's going to come out. So it's coming in 2023, which I'm going to touch on just a little bit later, but that is very good news. Now we're going to be talking about the specific updates that Husky mentioned on the Kickstarter page in his most recent update. So if you don't like reading, I got you covered. I'm going to go through them all right now. All right, so the first thing we have is Amy's Workbench, and it's basically like a carpentry service. One thing I did notice right away is that it does say the drones will be assembling, so I don't know if you can build multiple buildings at once, but I think that's going to be really cool. We also have Spooklets, so they're basically what is going to make you have to go to sleep when the day is over, and I think it's kind of a cool mechanic because you can actually maybe outrun them and then you don't get the penalty by sleeping in. So I think that's going to add a really cool dynamic to the game. I always love a high stakes, make it to bed on time kind of chase. We also have the prize cabinets. I think that the one thing that sticks out to me is I really hope that we get more than 6 prize cabinets. I hope that there's a lot more so that you have a lot of cool end item games to buy, and we'll just have to see how that progresses along. We also got the passageways, which I think is really cool. You can get from point A to point B a little bit quicker, but you can't access it right away. And then we also have the museum collections, and in the Kickstarter notes, it mentions that there's going to be prizes for each collection completed, which I think is fantastic because I always like to get a little bit of a reward for each of the sections that I complete. It just makes it feel a little bit more satisfying. It does say at the bottom that the game is set to come out in 2023, but not until the end of the year. So we are gonna have to wait a little while longer and be a little patient, but he wants to make the best finished product possible. So I can't wait to see what the next update says. Let me know in the comments what you think that large giant frog is gonna be, and stay tuned for my next video because I'll be talking about much more Everafter Falls content.